All right, guys. Andrew at Kabuki Strength. I have Brandon here, and he's going to help demonstrate the log one motion, also known as a viper press. So the log one motion is essentially you're going to take the log from the lap to the overhead press in one motion without stopping in the rack. Why we would do this movement is really to gain proficiency in the clean, so you're getting more explosive in the clean, but also to learn about carrying the momentum from the lap into the press. This is going to be really beneficial in events where it's lighter weight for reps. We have to clean each rep. It's also great for people who are newer to strongman, who are trying to learn, say, loading, log cleans, and all the other various events, because it overlaps some qualities. So because of the explosive nature of the clean, it's going to be very similar to, say, an Atlas stone load. It's teaching you how to use a log, so now you're learning the press. And then again, it's hitting the press as far as the lockout and holding overhead, so overhead stability on an awkward implement. So on the log one motion, he's going to want to start with the handles angled down, just so he has more of an arc to be able to generate the one motion press. So starting with the handles slightly down, he's going to pick it to the lap. He's going to sit down slightly. So right here, he actually has a fault, so we want to get those angles, the angle of the handles a little more parallel to the floor. Good. He's going to fire the hips and lean into the press. Good. So at the top of his press, you notice his heels are on the ground, and he's in a straight line, so we're going to put it down. So while you're still extending through the hips, and you might end on the toes with the extension, you want to immediately drive the heels down and end the end of the press on the heel. So the end of the extension, you're on your toes slightly to get the full extension of the hips through, but then as you go to press out, the heel should naturally fall down and create a good base. Now, one thing that Brandon already did in the video is he kept his feet in the same spot. So you don't want to move the feet around. So wherever you're going to feel the most powerful to lock out and hold the press, you're going to want to keep them glued to the ground. So you don't want to be picking up and then moving the feet in and out to adjust. Just keep them there. Sometimes this means you're going to have a slightly awkward position to pick the log, but I feel as the overall lift goes, it'd be better to leave them still and be a little harder to pick it than it would be to pick it where it's comfortable and then readjust it halfway through and kind of throw you off as far as being rooted to the ground. But to improve this lift, it's pretty much trying to sync up the timing, so trying to have the hips pop through more aggressively and try to use as much momentum through the log. So Brandon's actually going to demonstrate one that is not as good, and it's going to be broken up into kind of just hip pop and then locking out. So go ahead and just poorly execute the hip pop follow through and make it just a strict press. Yep. So what happened here is he kind of broke up the leg drive from the pressing. This is really common throughout all pressing variations in strongman, is not utilizing the whole body together. So people will use just enough momentum to, say, break the start of the press, which is usually the hardest to start off the rack, and then they'll just use the upper body to kind of hit the press. As they progress throughout strongman, it becomes more difficult to improve because they haven't really developed the pattern of having that momentum through the whole lift and carrying it all the way to the lockout.